Guys, we have to vote for the motion that we pick for the team.
Excuse me, do we just type out the votes or
Hello, everyone. Okay, is this room two?
Yes, this is.
Okay, so have you guys ranked the motion yet?
Yes, we did.
You did. Okay, so can you write in the chat box?
Give me a moment. Okay. Okay. Welcome everyone standing here today to the interfaculty debate competition on the topic. This house would ban teachers from interacting with students via social networking websites. My name is Joshua, and I will be acting as your moderator for today's debate session. Before we start today's debate, I would like to introduce our esteemed judges who will evaluate the performance of the debaters. As you can see, who is on the camera right now, which is Mr. Anis. Welcome to the debate session. Now we have met our judges. Let me introduce our debate teams who would be competing today. Let's welcome the government and opposition team. The government team will be supporting today's motion, while the opposition team will be rejecting the motion given. The government team consists of, as I see in the chat box right now, Sugan and also Kavya. Sugan acts as the Prime Minister, meanwhile the Deputy Prime Minister and the government whip would be Kavya. Moving on to the opposition team, we have Ryan as the leader of opposition, and the deputy leader of opposition and also the opposition whip would be Salva. Before we start, I would like to remind you of some rules that we need to follow during this debate. So take note. Each speaker will have 7 minutes to deliver their speech. You may not interrupt your opponent when they are speaking, except for points of information during said time. Point of information allowed after the first minute and before the last minute. Be mindful of your words and be polite as you speak. Each speaker has a maximum time of 30 seconds to finish their sentences during the point of information. Failure to do so will have your team marks deducted. To give a point of information, make sure to turn on your camera and click the raise hand button. The flow of the debate is as such. The Prime Minister will begin his or her speech, followed by the Leader of Opposition. Then, the Deputy Prime Minister will continue the speech, followed by the Deputy Leader of Opposition. The Government Whip will begin his or her speech right after. Lastly, the first or second speaker of each team will conclude the debate by giving out the replying speech. Before we begin, I would like to remind each speaker to state right now how would they like to receive point of information in the chat box or mic. Point in the chat box means the debaters who wants to ask just write POI in the chat box, not the question. Questions must be asked verbally. So what would be the opposition and the government's decision? Is it chat box or mic? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So the
We would like the
opposition.
mic also. Yeah.
Okay. So the decision is by mic. Okay. We will now begin our today's debate on the motion 3, which is the House would ban teachers from interacting with students via social networking websites. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So to start our debate session, we will now begin today's debate by welcoming the Prime Minister, which is Sugan, to deliver the speech. As I show the stopwatch, so give me a moment.
Hi, should we open our cameras?
Yes, as the rules said just now, open your cameras when you want to speak. So give me a few minutes while I open the stopwatch. Yes, you can open your camera actually. Can you see?
Is it clear?
Yes, it's clear.
All right.
Okay. So your time starts now. Well, before I start the stopwatch. So, is there any questions you want to ask before we start?
We're allowed to reject POIs, right? I just want to make sure.
Yes, I guess. Okay. Yes, yes.
Is there going to be
So,
deduction marks? I'm sorry, I just want to make sure.
no. You have to finish your POI by 30 seconds. If not, yes, there would be a deduction. Give me a moment. Okay. So your time starts now.
All right. Good day to so before let me start my motion, I would like to greetings. Good day to the honorable judicators, the timekeeper, and the members of the opposition team. Today our house will be debating on the motion whether this house believes that the house believes that we should ban teachers from interacting with students via social networking websites. Let me first giving my first argument, I would like to define the motion, today's motion, which is starting off with the word interacting. What does the word interact mean? Interacting means sharing or at least communicating the interaction between two people or the reciprocal action between two sides. The next definition I will be defining is the word social networking. What does it social networking means? A social networking is an online platform that allows users to create a public profile and interact with thousands of users. For an example, is Facebook, Twitter, and more. Right. So after defining, I would like to introduce what our house will be debating on about. And I, as the first speaker, the government will present one argument about proving about how banning in teachers from interacting with students via social networking will prevent the sexual facilitating of sexual misconduct. While my second speaker, Kavya, will follow with the second argument and the third argument. Sorry. All right. I would like to start my argument now. As we progress into the modern age, we know that the introduction of the social media and at least the social networking sites have been increased, especially during the modern age right now, that every user in the single tenant has a device that can be used. And this has been reducing the bridge between two oppositions, between two parties, especially teachers and students as in our motion. This has brought down many benefits and advantages, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. And currently, as it turns out, it's not all rainbows and sunshines, and it has a lot of dark sides to it and a lot of disadvantages. And the argument I'll be proposing today is how does banning teachers from interacting with students via social networks will prevent the facilitation of sexual misconduct. I'm sorry, I was reading. Okay. So, in my argument, I would like to state that the social networking sites are an effective platform for child grooming, especially happens between students and underage children. For an example, I have a case that has been brought up by the BBC News, which is a headmaster from London named Nicholas Clayton has used the Facebook messaging app for grooming 132 children from all over the world, such as Philippines, Cambodia, and Thailand. This gives the thought that social networking sites can be used to attack more children in the whole wide world. It doesn't matter if you're in another country and here. It always brings out the craziness and the ugliness of human. Sorry, worldwide replaced by the non. Okay, right. And the highlight of this, as I previously said, was this allows predators, child predators especially, to attack and groom children all over the world. Furthermore, I also have another proof that this act of interacting in social medias brings out another version, which is the Richard Huckle from America, who was posed as an English teacher, but still groomed at least hundreds of children via social network as well. It was through Facebook as well. This confirms that social networking sites allows educators to prey on underage children. This is because underage children view the educators as someone they respect, same as equal to their parents. And this allows the educators or the teachers to take advantage over those simple minds. They have the simple minds as the children. They do not have the maturity to know that whether they are able to trust them or not, since they do not have the maturity nor the experience. This allows them to blackmail the children in order to doing what they need, such as sending nudity photos, frontal nudity, as this is the case for Nicholas Clayton, who blackmailed those children to send full front nudity photos and store them in his hard drives. Other than that, this also, the interaction between teachers and students also diminishes the barrier or the privacy barrier between children and the educators. This means that the children were not able to separate the border between real life and the cyberspace. This makes them trust that anybody who claims as a teacher or claims as his teacher is true as they are in the social media website. And the states, I would like to give another statistics, which in 2022, the MCMC, which is the Malaysian Communication Multimedia Commission, has reported that 2,989 cases have been reported of child grooming in online sites. That is a 200% increase from the year 2019. Other than that, and PDRM has also announced that at least 4% of children in 2012, aged from 12 to 17, has also subjected to sexual abuse by the educators as well. And before I conclude my argument, I would like to say that I believe, and this house believes, that banning teachers from interacting with the students via social networking websites allows the prevention of sexual misconduct and and the degrading of the name of teachers, the education, the profession that each of them carry. This not only tarnishes the image of teachers and educators as a whole, but also ruins the children's society and future. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to Sudan, the Prime Minister, for the speech. So next, we would let's hear from the leader of the opposition. So are you ready, Mr. Ryan?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so your time starts now.
Okay, so panel, my side of opposition support the idea of teachers interacting with students via social networking websites. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, we tell you that the government house are fighting a losing battle to begin with. But before that, I bid Salam Alaikum and a very good evening to panel of judges, amazing opponent from the side of the government. Okay, today I'm going to do two things. I'm going to give you a complete set, a complete case setup, and I'll give my argumentation on how, on why the side of opposition support the idea of teachers interacting with students via social media, social networking websites, and my deputy will disclose any misquoted points coming from the government side, and my read will disconstruct the anatomy of their case and tell you why the side of the opposition is going to win into this debate. So first and foremost, when we're talking about social networking website, we're talking about accessibility on students to gain as much educational resources as they can from various social networking websites. And social networking website provide a convenient platform for students to reach out to their teachers outside class hours, making education more accessible. As we know, school has set a standard 8 hours a day for students to go and study in a daily routine. But as we know, 8 hours will never be enough for them to get as much knowledge as they can. Therefore, it is convenient. It is also recommended for students and teachers interact with each other outside school hour via social networking website. My point of view is that we support the idea of teachers interacting with students via social networking website, as by using social networking website, educators can adapt to various digital formats and use it as their teaching methods. This is because there's millions of educators out there that have their own way of teaching. Therefore, by using social networking website, they can express their own way of teaching in a unique way for their students. And this is important, as diverse teaching methods is significant in order to help students understand any given topic, assignment, or resources efficiently. Okay, and then but before that, I also want to mention about how the government side fail to give the definition that all of us need, so that we can understand why are we debating today. They fail to give the definition of teachers. This is because in order to debate this and fully understand what are we debating today, we need to understand and identify who are our target audience. And our target audience is teachers. Teachers, as we can define as a profession where a person teaches in school or any other education institution. And I'm going to use this opportunity to debut one of their points, which they say that by interacting with students using social networking websites will promote sexual misconduct between teachers and students. When we are targeting our audience, which is teachers, we have to fully understand that teachers were trained to be professional in their field of working, and we are not talking about primary school or tadika. I'm so sorry, but we are talking about every single education institution in Malaysia that's include university, that include high school, that includes primary school, that include anywhere that there is a teachers teaching in any institution. So we have to also look at the possibility that the teachers have been trained in so many different ways to increase their professionalism and have the ability to set up boundaries, appropriate boundaries, and being firm with it with their students. And I also believe that there have been a lot of efforts on spreading awareness on how a student should how the student how a student should set up boundaries between them and teachers, and how they can efficiently use social networking website in order to access as many educational resources as they can with their teachers outside school hours. And to conclude my speech, I just want to let all of you understand that social networking website is the new form of education for our generation nowadays. We cannot just stay on this focusing on school hours physically in the school. We also have to also make use of other time that we have outside school hours, and also be wise in using our time to advance in our educational progress as a student overall. And for that, I truly support the idea of teachers interacting with students using the via social networking website. Therefore, I think by banning the uses of social networking website is a truly unpractical move that we can practice towards the teachers nowadays at any given education institution.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Sorry, the time is done. So thank you for the wise speech from the leader of opposition.
You're welcome.
So next, let's hear from the Deputy Prime Minister, if I'm correct. So you have 7 minutes to present your case, starting from now.
Good day, everyone. Is my mic clear?
Yes.
Okay. Without wasting any time, I would like to propose my idea from the government house. I would like to start by rebutting the rebuttal that is given by the opposing team. They say that social networking site is allowing students to reach out to their teachers in order to like consult them during the asking for details for their assignment and etc. But the bigger question here is, do they really need to use social media to consult their teachers? For example, Facebook, WhatsApp, even nowadays WhatsApp is known as social media since it includes status, channels, Instagram, Twitter. In this case, I would like to propose that Telegram can be used as one of the effective apps, as it's more to chat. It is more to like a chat model than sharing pictures and their private life apart from their professional life. Next, apart from just consulting your teachers every time you have a question, there are multiple websites out there in the internet which can be collected by your fingertips these days. Like you don't even have to think about it. You go on internet, you go on Google, you go on Chrome, you can literally type out the question that you want to ask your teacher, and it'll give a better answer than your teachers can ever give. So I don't see the need to go and text your teacher, especially using their social media as an excuse. I feel like that was quite unclear from the opposing team. Next, I would also like to say that teachers also have their own life. They don't have to be, like they say, the regular 8-hour timeline they use for their professional life they teach. I feel like teachers deserve their own time after that 8-hour teaching life. So I feel like there are also parents to reach out to. There are other websites that they can reach out to. And the opposing team also rebutted that nowadays there are so many effort that has been brought up to make the barrier between to make a barrier between the teacher and students, but are they didn't explain it with proper evidence, so that is quite unclear. And without wasting any time, I would like to propose my other two arguments, which is social. What the main reason we should ban teachers from interacting with students via social media is to protect teachers' mental health, because they deserve their own life, they deserve their private life as well. And another thing is that this can be backed up with an article released by teachermisery.com. In 2008, Catherine Evans, a Florida high school student, was disciplined for cyberbullying a teacher on Facebook. She created a group called Miss Sarah Phelps is the worst teacher I've ever met, and featured a picture of teacher and requests other students to express your feelings of hatred. This shows that the more students get access to teachers' social media, the more they can get access to their private life, which is their pictures, their family members, their and more. So this is only making the situation worse, where they do not only where there's not only one student who's hating on the teacher, but the student has also collected their teacher's private data from social media to go against the teacher, which is very wrong. My next argument will be that we would like the main reason is to protect students' privacy. My opposing team mentioned that the professionalism has been increasing day by day, but the the evidence that I'm about to give says otherwise, where the local teacher in our own country has apologizes after posting TikTok video featuring content of students' school bags. They have gone through students' school bags where without when the students have gone for recess, without the students' consent, without the parents knowing. So it is a big question mark if the teachers are actually being professional in this case, whether or not they ask their students permission to go through their bags. I find it very uncomfortable and unprofessional that they have to use students as content to gain their own media personality, to become a media personality, to gain their own followers. And keep in mind that this teacher had about millions and millions of followers in her TikTok account. And if you're going to say that nowadays this is not happening, that is so wrong, because this article was released on
I have
21 June
a question. Sorry for interrupting, but I have a
2023.
question. Can I
No,
present
thank
my?
you. Sorry, I have to reject. My point is not made yet. And continuing, it has also become famous until the point where parents have become uncomfortable until they have sent pictures and to the Kementerian Malaysia, where even one of the prime ministers have come to awareness on this case. So this is a world. I mean, this is a big case to be seen. And what I would like to propose is that no matter from which perspective we see, the only solution and mechanism is teachers maintaining a professional life. They need to take all kind of measures to enhance and divide between their professional and private life, because students in this case, teachers are way much more educated, they are known educators, they are more elder, so they have more exposure to what is right and wrong. They are able to differentiate what is right and wrong than students, as they are the people who are supposed to guide them on what is wrong and right. And in this case, we can show you that it's otherwise. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the thoughtful speech by the Deputy Prime Minister. Um, Now we will have to hear the speech of the Deputy Leader of Opposition. So you have 7 minutes to present your case. Are you ready? Okay. So your time starts. Your time starts now.
Hello, everyone. I would like to continue this debate with our second argument, which would be about communication. But before that, let me reinstate our motion in this debate, which would be about this house supports the interaction between student and teacher via social networking medias. So, what is communications? Um, Communication is something that allows you to explain to someone else what you are experiencing and what your needs are. The act of communication not only helps you to meet your needs, but it also helps you to be connected to a person. In this case, the relationship between our students and teachers. So, why should students and teachers interact with each other? Studies have shown that positive student and teacher connections offer significant academic benefits for most vulnerable students. For example, like students with dyslexia, students who are unable. Sorry, can you hear me? I was lost for a second. Students who are unable to students who are not on the levels with other students, such as students with dyslexia and students who have problems, students who have hearing problems, students who have communication problems, students who are introverts, and such as. So these concentration on connection increases equity in the classroom. And students who have difficulties, just like I said before, students who have difficulties learning would benefit the most from the quality of interaction they build with the teachers. So, how can students and teacher communicate with each other? Well, my fellow opposition team members are also science foundation students in UMK, and I would like to remind you guys of the first assignment we were given in our English lesson, which is we have to do a video entitled hold on, entitled My Day as a UMK Student, which was then asked us, which was then posted on TikTok, and our teacher reviewed our video and gave marks to us. This was a fun way of interacting with students, getting know to students, how what type of problems students um, what type of problems students are facing on daily life and how their daily life basically goes. This activity, this simple activity, you guys have done it too. This simple activity helped us connect on a more personal level, don't you think? And as for the second point, I would like to talk about collaboration. So, what is collaboration? Collaboration is the process of two or more people or organization to working together to complete a task. So, let me ask you a question. To the facilitators to organize this event, this debate, where did they interact? We used WhatsApp to communicate from time to time, and we interacted. That is how we were able to organize these debate that you are debating about. And other than that, I would like to move on to rebuttal. So before I rebut, I would like to state the points given by startup position, which was about sexual harassment. So the relationship between a student and a teacher requires mutual respect. And from the point that you have mentioned, teachers, they are trained to be professional in their field of work. And it is a teacher's job to establish boundaries between them and students in the first place. So, first of all, can I express how disgusted I am by your argument? Because there is this Tamil proverb that states, teachers are just teachers comes first before God, and after mother and father. These relationship, you guys are sexualizing this relationship, is something that should be visit word through the therapist. So let me hold on. Okay. So first of all, the teacher and students shouldn't be communicating in such ways. And other than that, if a teacher is indeed sexually harassing a student on social media, what is the guarantee that he will not do the same in real life? And students are and in real life and in social media, it is much more easier to expose a teacher when sexual harassment happens in social media other than in real life. So in this case, I have to say that your points are irrelevant. Other than that, I would strongly like to express my motion again, which is this house supports the interaction between students and teacher via social networking. And I'm running out of time. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for the insightful speech from the deputy leader of opposition. So now we would welcome the government whip to um, raise a point. So you may start.
Thank you to my opposing team. They stated that interaction, especially between students who have um, disabilities, for example, dyslexia, you say that it's easier for them. It helps social networking sites helps them to interact between students who have disabilities and teachers, but they did not explain how. They did not give us any evidence on how this is happening in real life, which only makes me curious, because students with these days, students with who don't have these abilities are already having a hard time to interact between teachers, because they do not know how to formally consult their lecturers, their teachers through social media, because they are so used to using short forms, they are so used to using these trendy words while they're interacting with their teachers. And students with these abilities, I would say that face-to-face consultation makes it way more easier, as they already have a hard time interacting with normal people in daily life. So them interacting with teachers through social media only makes it hard, and that is a bit unclear from their side. Another thing is that they included they included an example where UNK students themselves had to communicate through TikTok with their teachers. And I agree with their statement in that case, because it doesn't, in this case, the teacher and the students, both parties have known their limits, have known their barriers on on how they should interact between each other. The assignment was the students understood the assignment, and they were able to come up with their answers professionally. And the teacher, he did not comment on anyone's we couldn't see his comments on anyone's comment section. We couldn't see him stitching that video, we couldn't see him featuring that video. So it's quite unclear on what they are trying to implement here, because he only the video requirement the assignment was only about sending the link to the teacher so he can take a look through by only looking at it. So he gives marks by only looking at their daily life situations. And another thing is that my opposing team said that we are sexualizing teachers, we are sexualizing the relationship between our teachers and students, which is quite funny because I don't recall sexualizing teachers. We stated evidence that happens in daily life, and especially you can say that, and especially in this 21st century where my opposing team said that professionalism is increasing day by day. And to prove to disagree with them, I would like to add that we were all well known with this one recent case where a Malaysian teenager sued by teacher who allegedly made rape jokes to fight back. A Malaysian teenage girl will counter-sue her male teacher for allegedly making rape joke in class after the instructor filed a defamation suit against the traumatized student last week. You said that teachers are professional, but how come a professional teacher is making rape jokes in class? And it is a proud thing that the students stand up for herself. Another thing is that you said that the students and teachers know their barriers while they are using social networking site, but how come there are cases where teachers are accused of sending nudes to students through Snapchat? For example, this case where from breakingnews.ie, teacher accused of professionalism misconduct over inappropriate contact on Snapchat, where teachers was accused of engaging in inappropriate contact on social media with several young girls from a secondary school. You can say maybe you can say maybe the students, you can say the teacher have had no idea or anything, but these are actually students from high school where they are where they the moment where we all look up to our teachers because we ourselves are about to enter adulthood, where these adults are showing us the exact opposite example of what an adult should not do. Moreover, it's a teacher who's supposed to teach us only good things. So I would say that in this case, social media networking sites are only making things more worse, where the more we allow teachers and students to interact via social media networking sites, the more issues like this will increase, and it becomes a hard place for students and teachers to interact with, because we can also say it's raising awareness, but at the same time it's becoming very hard to trust teachers and educators these days. With this, I end my case. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you from the encouraging speech by the government whip. We will now hear the speech from the opposition whip. So if there's not nothing else to add on, so your time.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, before I start my rebuttal, let me state up all the points given by the startup position. For their first point, they talked about the sexual harassment between teacher and student. And for their second point, they talked about teachers' privacy and how teachers also have their own life. So, all right. So, guys, let me first of all, I would like to explain the title again, because this title is all about banning teachers from interacting students via emphasis on via social networking websites. So my opposition team, Kavya, she did talked about two incidents. First about how the teacher um, um, commented about a student's school bags, how she used it for her social media benefits and all that. But might I need to remind you that social media was not the medium there. Social media would be the medium if the student and the teacher were using social media. Hold on. So, other than that, they also did provide another example, which was about the sexual joke, where the teacher was exposed. Note this point: the teacher was exposed via social media. That sexual joke happened in real life, not via social media. So there is a difference between that. I would like the judges to acknowledge that point first. And other than that, they did say something about how the English assignment was. The sir did not comment anything on that. So let me from you guys' point of view, the teachers do have private life, and in order to enjoy their private life, they have to use methods to evaluate students' performance. So they don't have time to go to each student's videos and comment it, wow, you did great and all that. No, they did not have the time, but he did evaluated the performance. You guys can he did evaluated the performance is what I'm trying to say. And other than that, them agreeing with our idea proves that they are fighting for a lost cause. Other than that, I would like to uh, talk about their second point, which was about privacy. Okay, there is this code where it says that a teacher's job never ends. A teacher's role is not just only to educate. A teacher is not just supposed to educate about schools, studies, and all that. A teacher is supposed to be a role model, and they are supposed to teach students how to respect others and all that. So how is a teacher going to teach students lessons about life lessons and all that when they are with limited time? That is not on that is hold on, sorry. How our teachers will be able to teach students about life lessons with only limited time, that only allows teachers and students to communicate about educational stuffs? And other than that, I would also like to reinstate my team members' points, which was first about how students can ask questions to their teachers if they don't understand a point or anything. So if I think we've all done it. If we don't understand a question, the first thing we do is communicate with teachers. Like, teacher, is this a proof? Can I take this as the source? We have to communicate in this 21st century. We have to communicate with our teachers, that too via social media platforms. And other than that, there is other than that, I would like to remind you guys that school life is not only about education. It's about um, how we have fun and all that. So, relationship, a bond with student and teacher can make your school life be a wonderful journey um, rather than something you rather than, strengthening the bond between teacher and student can make our school life wonderful, rather than the school life. The communication without teacher and student would be without the communication without student and teacher, school life uh, would be ruined. And other than that, I would like to once again with that I believe I've habilitated all the arguments, and once again I would like to state that this house supports the interaction between students and teacher via social networking websites. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the speech. So with that, that concludes the main speeches of the debate. Next, each team will summarize their main arguments and rebuttals in 4 minutes. Hence, we would start with the government side first in order to summarize their main arguments. So, is their side ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So, your 4 minutes starts now.
All right. As the replying speech, I would like to begin by pointing out our highlights of this thing and why we deserve to win this debate and this argument. First off, I would like to summarize our first point, which was how the interaction between students and teachers facilitates sexual misconduct. As I previously said, this allows a bridge and closes the gap between students and the teachers, and have an intimate yet inappropriate relationship via social medias. This also affects as the children do not have the proper teachings or experience that this is not right and this is wrong, and it differs from what they're learning from school. Next up, our second point was how teachers should have a private and personal life, and they should not mingle students into their personal and private life by using social media, social networking sites, because teachers, as the opponents say, the teachers are supposed to be role models, right? If the teacher who drinks and smokes are seen by students in the social medias, that would create a bad example to students, and this would lead to a chain reaction where the students won't even care or listen to the teacher's opinion, since they know that the teacher isn't one of the good ones or the ones that actually follow rules. Instead, she actually smokes and drinks. This is just an example. Well, the third example is with the privacy of the children themselves. Like my previous deputy prime minister said that one of the case where one of the private school teachers actually went through the children's back, and as the opposition rebutted that TikTok was not a social media, I would like to correct that social media, TikTok is a social media and a social networking site. The thing is, she did not interact. She interacted with the fans using the child's belonging as props, which is also a breach of privacy of the children. Thus, this also counts as a breach of privacy in children's barriers. And to sum up everything, I would like to say that this house actually believes that the prevention or the ban or the restriction of teachers interacting from social medias is effective and also helps to prevent more online cyberbullying and sexual cases in children, especially students and lecturers. This also goes the other way, where students actually bully, which is a fair point, that students can also bully the other way around, or misconduct or harass the teachers on the other way around. This was also stated in the second point of our Deputy Prime Minister. And to conclude that, I would like to say that the reason why I don't understand is the opposition do not understand that students do not have to use social media or networking sites to communicate with teachers, since the definition I explained during my first introduction was a social networking site is an online platform that allows users to create a public profile that allows to engage with other people. This is not for education. This is to find random new people, to make new connections. Rather, I would prefer that the teachers and students will communicate in a more personal manner using texting messages more than random social apps that does not benefits both of them. And that's all I would like to. And before concluding, I would like to also talk about the lack of infrastructure as well. The thing is, she said that children with disabilities will help. Social media allows to ask them questions. Like my previous deputy minister said that it doesn't help. Actually, it burdens them more. The students with disabilities would prefer to actually ask questions in front of the teachers in order not to go through many sideways and social medias. And that's all for today. And I would like to conclude my replying speech. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the speech made from
You're
the
welcome.
government side to reply for a summarization. Next, let's welcome the opposition side to deliver their replying speech in 4 minutes. So, is the opposition side ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay. So the times start.
So in my replying speech, I'm gonna do two things. One will be, I'm gonna debut every single invalid argument that they present into the debate, and secondly, I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna win this debate today. So first of all, one of the argument that they present was about teachers doing TikTok content with students in school, in any education institution. That doesn't answer our motion for today's debate. Which is why? Because communicating with students and making content using the students are two different things. One involves consent and willingness from both parties, while the other diminishes it. And second of all, the accusation given by the side of the government about teachers being sexual predators. This is such a banning only teachers from interacting with students does not solve social misconduct at all. Teachers are not sexual predators to begin with, but they are sexual predators who happen to be teachers. If the main reason for this proclamation is solely to prevent sexual or immoral virtual phenomena from occurring amongst students, then I really don't see why teachers are the main target here. The real problem for this mishap are sexual predators. Sexual predators can come from anyone of any background, even from a student. Even from sexual threat can even happen on gaming sites. Hence, it's not possible a solution to take away the social convenience from the educational community only. Sexual threat online should be solved from the core and not from recent news that so happen to mention a predator that also a teacher. And I can also give valid researches and analysis from Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, Bureau of Justice Statistics, National Crime Victimization Survey conducted in 2020 state that the majority of sexual assault occur at or near the victim house, which is at 55%, and the sexual assault on school property is the lowest one recorded, which is 8%. So is the government saying that you're gonna ban students from going home? It doesn't make sense. And also, the better alternative is to enhance nor invest more in the country online surveillance. Banning students from interacting through Telegram WhatsApp is not at all pragmatic. Those platforms are the main reason that we're able to spread information and conduct our meeting right now through the guidance of our facilitators. While platforms where most racial sexual crimes are committed are on websites like Omegle and dating apps, why aren't the government targeting these websites instead of WhatsApp and also Telegram? Putting labels upon teachers that are a sexual threat is rather aggressive and very morbid assumption. Therefore, and also to conclude, I agree on and I support teachers interacting with students via social networking website, as not only it gives tremendous accessibility towards the student and teachers of all, it can also give proper engagement for both teachers and also students. In what ways? In collaborating with peers and teachers on group projects, fostering a sense of teamwork and shared learning, and also engage interactive students can access supplementary materials And so this can also give them proper exposure on how to improve their social skills overall, which can lead to better preparation for any future needs. That's all for me. That's all from the organization side. I rest my skills.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who is present for making this debate session a success. To be honest, it was a very energetic and a thrilling debate session to watch. Hence, that concludes today's debate session on the topic of banning teachers from interacting with students via social networking websites. I would like to thank both teams for their excellent performances today. Now, let's give some time for the judges to calculate their overall marks and announce the winner for today's debate. So we wait for a few minutes. Is that okay, Mr. Anis?
Yeah, we're okay with that.
Okay. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes to wait for the judges' results. Thank you. Are you trying to speak, sir? Can you hear me, sir? Okay. Can you all see my screen? Hello. Can you all hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's invite our panel of judges to give some speech and to give some feedback and to announce their decision. Is it okay, Mr. Anis? I can't hear anything. Can you all guys hear? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you all hear the judge, Mr. Anis?
No.
Not really.
So try to change your microphone in the settings. Is it? It's okay. Is it okay if I announce it? Okay. So based on Mr. Anis' evaluation, so these are the winners of the debate today. The debate, the winner is the government, which is the Marauders UMK Aspen. Congratulations to Marauders UMK Aspen for winning this debate. And well done to Ochobot UMK Aspen as well. It was a really good debate session, and you guys were really great for putting up a good fight. So the best debater as well is Ryan from the opposition team. Sorry. So the best debater is Ryan for the opposition team, and the motion is accepted. So congratulations to both teams, and thank you very much for Mr. Anis to be present as a judge for us in this wonderful session. Okay, that marks the end of our session. Thank you for your attendance and attentiveness. So before we go, would you guys open your camera so that we could take a picture for the club's return? Would you open your camera for a moment? Mr. Anis? Okay, 3, 2, 1. Once more. In 3, 2, 1. session today, and I hope you guys are satisfied with the results. You can try again next time for the losing team. Good luck and goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.